Hello, and welcome to our lesson, Understanding the Different Types of Realtors. Now I'm going to break them down into four general categories, and this is after 7 years of observing them, being one of them, and being around them. There's really just four different types of realtors that you're going to deal with, and I'm going to break down how each one's a little bit different and why you may or may not want to work with each particular set. Now the first one, of course, is the new and excited realtor, somebody that just got their license. They just went through a week or two of training on how to win over the business and how to go door knocking and how to get their sphere of influence, the people around them who are their friends and their relatives and their former associates at work, and how to get them running, and they're so excited. And then they figure out they got to learn sales skills and prospecting skills. And that 30-minute module they may have covered in their quickie training did not cover them for the basics of being a true and powerful salesperson. And when that happens, there's going to be one of two things. Either they're going to dig in deep and go ahead and usually hook up with one of the sales gurus and learn their system, or they're going to go ahead and quit the business. And usually, most realtors will turn at about month number 6 or 8. And the reason is because by that time they're starting to exhaust their money, or if they're bivocational, they're really not getting anything more than one deal and it's just not worth the hassle, and so they give up. So, what do we do with those folks? We can help them out to a degree. Don't put a lot of your emphasis into them because they will just start sucking away and be time vampires on you. But if they're willing to go out there and hold open houses, I would encourage you, if your pipeline is empty, to sit right alongside of them and hold open houses with them, as long as they guarantee they're going to knock every door in the subdivision and generate some traffic for you. Now, another way is if they're willing to spend some money, have them do some magazine advertisements, and then go ahead and help them follow up on their call capture number. That is another way of doing it. But for the most part, I would encourage you just to touch on new agents, and if they have any deals in the pipeline, help them out, but not to spend a lot of time. Don't babysit them, and don't be their training coach, because what's going to happen is they'll just get frustrated anyway, leave the business, and you'll have spent a lot of time on something that produces no results. The second type of realtor is what we call active and growing. Now, active and growing realtors typically will be those that have been in the business for more than 6 months. They'll be focused, they'll be going out there knocking doors, calling their sphere of influence, people around them that they know. They'll be going out there and trying to do FSBOs and expireds. And these people are many times not top-tier realtors. They're not the ones that are really just absolutely killing it, but they're growing their business. They have a dream, they have a plan. With this type, we can most definitely work, and this is our best segment, because these people are looking actively for solutions, and they're not yet quite loyal or stuck in place. They might have only been in the business for a year or two, so they might not necessarily be set up with a company they've been doing business with for 10 years. This is a great group to go after. Now, what they're looking for, more than anything, is somebody who can help them follow up on all the leads they've got. Now, if they don't have any leads, it's probably not somebody you want to do business with, because even though they've been in the business for a year or two, doesn't necessarily mean that their business is popping. But if they have a lot of leads, what they're looking for, more than anything, is somebody to help them with their lead follow-up. Essentially, a type of unpaid assistant, which to some degree we can work within that role. Now, the third type is grizzled veterans. These are the chain-smoking lady realtors who sit there and go, "What do you want? Oh, another loan officer, huh?" And they sound like Marge Simpson's sisters. Now, that's a joke, but it's kind of true, too. If you've ever seen some of the elder realtors, these guys are almost a complete waste of time. In fact, the downside to them is that many times they're used to squeezing free things out of people. They have it to an art form. They'll go ahead and basically flat out ask you to break RESPA laws in a very polite and roundabout kind of way. Or they'll say, "Well, my last loan officer gave me this. What will you give me?" And that's a horrible way to start a relationship. And a lot of these people are not open to new ideas. They have one or two things that work decently well. They make a middle-class income. And really, honestly, they're not going to do a whole lot of business with you, for you, or with you. Now, the last category are top producers. These are the big dogs in any marketplace. These guys, I would not go after them right away. In fact, I would not spend any time whatsoever. If somebody is making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year, they're probably either having a mortgage company in-house where they own a good chunk of it, or they're just doing their own thing. Yes, you can eventually get into their business. Yes, you can eventually do something with them, but right off the bat, you're not going to get any immediate business from a top producer typically. What you're going to want to do is put all of your focus into those that have been in the business for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year, and those that are growing their business, and those that are actively focused and looking for that next edge to push them up to the next income tier. The last group, which I guess I really talk about that I almost didn't want to talk about, but I will, are what I call play realtors. These are people who have a real estate license, who sell 1 to 2 deals a year that they just happen to scoop up from their friends and family, and those that clog up the system. If you have somebody that does not do more than 8 or 9 deals a month, or whatever it takes to provide a good middle class income, do not do business with them. Do the math in your head. If somebody is not making at least $50,000 to $60,000 a year as a realtor, they are a complete waste of your time. These are part-timers, and really in the end, they're going to serve as a distraction because they are unprofessional. What I mean by that is they're not going to treat it like a business. They treat it like a hobby. And you don't want to be part of their hobby, part of the thing that just kind of gives them an extra thing to do on the weekend because, they're not dealing with their kids anymore and their kids have left the house. That isn't the type of realtor you want to deal with. You want to deal with those that are serious about building a powerful business, eventually maybe going on and being a broker themselves, those that are interested in starting their own company, those that have fire in their heart. And part-timers, which I hate to even talk about them, but they're out there all over the place, you're going to be able to distinguish them because first off, they're not going to spend any of their own money in marketing. Also, they won't see the value of what you can bring to the table because they probably don't have any leads, and you cannot help them follow up on the leads that they have because they don't have any, flat out. They're dead wood. So if you get a part-timer, other than calling them once a week and just saying, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to see how your business is going. Wanted to see if you had anybody you need to get pre-qualified. Other than doing a once-a-week touch base and adding them to your mass email list, do not spend time with them. Do not take them out to dinner, and do not blow any amount of money on them because they're not only a waste of time, but they're a complete waste of money. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is don't go for the big boys. And I already kind of talked about it in this unit, but I want to emphasize this again in the next unit. And I'm going to talk about how to determine who's worth your time on the medium level.